in essence, you now have a talent pool that is global, and when you have services like you're offering, where you can basically very easily hire someone from more or less anywhere in the world in a very, very short time frame, you don't have to spend months and thousands of dollars or euros to search for someone within your specific region. In a remote setting, regular check-ins is very important. Like the way you are making sure that not to be overbearing about check-ins, but to make sure that you have some sort of strategy in place to ensure that everybody is being seen and heard. It's not like just sending a message randomly every day to see how it is, but to actually have a plan and a structure behind how check-ins occur and how they work. And what that does basically is that it creates a more inclusive environment, and the people will trust you more, and they will trust each other because there's an openness within there. Treat everybody as an individual and build that personal connection. I think the best remote managers that I've seen or I've worked with are the ones who are that understands communication well. It's very easy if you're working in an office to check in the door, like to knock on the door of someone and say how is it going, or maybe you greet them in the morning and you greet them in the evening. So when I try to transfer that skill to a remote setting, not everybody manages to do that transition, because all of a sudden the way you communicate has to be done by either typing or have to schedule a meeting and regular checkups. It becomes a very different way of communicating. Those who can actually do that well, they build a trust that is very different. I have worked with clients, and also I worked in companies that you get hired, and after 2-3 months all of a sudden there's people in the organization that you never hear from, managers that you used to work with, and they're sort of gone. They're still there, you see them online in Slack or whatever, but for some reason they don't never reach out ever again, and maybe you occasionally talk to them, but it's sort of then you start maybe questioning if what you're doing is well, are they happy with it? Like you start questioning it, so trust becomes very low. The thing is that what is tricky is that I think that a lot of the younger generation now that are more or less getting onto the workforce in a fully remote position from the beginning. So I think that's also something to take into consideration, that there's a new young workforce coming onto the market that might never have been to an office before, they never seen, and they have other ways of communicating. They communicate using messages and text, and it's like a faster way of communicating. So they have this expectation that even an emoji can mean something and should mean something.